Hello people, welcome to this video where I will propose a new tech tree branch for the Russian tech tree in World of Tanks. And this proposed branch is a Russian turreted tank destroyer line. These things would consist of fast, turreted, and lightly armored tank destroyers with big damage and, turrets, which would be probably the main selling point. Well, let's move on to the first vehicle, which is a Tier 6 SU-100P. This Russian tank destroyer prototype, made in the late 1940s, was a proposed tank destroyer that would mount a 100mm on a lightly armored chassis. It would go at 65 kilometers an hour, and if you already play World of Tanks, it's basically just a SU-130PM but with a 100mm instead of 130. So I propose it having the actual top speed that the thing would have, which is 65. It would have a 100mm gun with 320 damage per shot, and I also propose that it could mount a 152mm derp. If you're thinking like, why would that be a thing? Well, because it's a thing. Let me introduce you to the SU-152G, which is just a SU-100P with a D50 152mm howitzer. I mean, it would be fun, don't you think? A just very fast KV2 at Tier 6. Well, the KV2 is just a fast KV2 with less armor, and it will also be lower and will have more camo rating than the KV2, but as a KV2 main, I'd like to see that. Next up, at Tier 7, 2S-15 Norov, another Russian prototype tank destroyer, this time with a fully rotatable turret and based on the Gvozdika. It would mount a 100mm gun and be able to rotate the turret 360 degrees. Be a bit would be pretty mobile, going 60 kilometers per hour. And well, that's what I propose for the game. 60 kilometer per hour top speed, 100mm gun with 360 damage, and a fully rotatable turret. And let's move on to the 2S1 Gvozdika. As I said, it's what the previous vehicle was based on, so it would be basically the same but with a bigger gun, a 122mm to be exact, and it would do around 440 to 460 damage per shot depending on how it would be balanced, and it could be replaced with, swap places with the next vehicle I have on this presentation, and put this one as a premium. The only reason I say that is because there is a Romanian tech tree made by, I don't remember who it was, but I'll probably put it up on screen, who made a pretty neat looking Romanian tech tree, and they proposed the Gvozdika to be a premium tank. And then Raging Raptor made a review of the tank destroyer branch. Raptor 1 is the next part coming. But anyway, he proposed that the Gvozdika in the Romanian tech tree could be a dual nation, like the Rudi. Well, and if the 2S1 Gvozdika was added as a Russian premium tank first, it could later be given the Romanian side, I guess you could say it. Just, it depends on what Wargaming wants. Okay, and then the Tier 8 premium tank, though, the one that I actually propose as a Tier 8 premium tank. It is 2S34 Hosta. This vehicle is a modernized 2S1 Gvozdika with a different gun and turret. It mounts a 120mm gun instead of the 122 that's found on the Gvozdika. It shares the same chassis, well, because this is basically just a modernized Gvozdika. But if you think that this thing should be in the tech tree, you can just swap them around. That's why I put it as maybe premium, and previously said that the 2S1 could be switched as a premium. But and for the reasons that I stated previously. But anyway, let's move on to the Tier 9 and 10, which are the two of the three vehicles that I would be really excited for in this branch if they got added. And this vehicle is the 2S3 Akatsiya. This is a Russian self-propelled howitzer, and you're probably thinking, wait, isn't this just a SPG, a turret SPG? And well, yes, it is, but I don't care. War Thunder, they put this thing as a tank destroyer recently. Why can't World of Tanks? Anyway, the 2S3 mounts a 152mm howitzer that would do 800 damage and go at 63 kilometers per hour. So that would be pretty fast. You're probably thinking 800 damage. Why? That's such a irregular number. What I stated in the beginning. This branch would have big damage, and nowadays wargaming they put branches with interesting gimmicks or something that makes them stand out. For example, the WoT tanks that are coming soon, they have the spear track. The Italians have auto reloaders. So well, this branch would have high damage. And there's nothing really much to say about this thing. No armor, I guess, like the rest of the branch. And now to the king of the branch, the Tier 10, the Object 120. This Russian prototype with the longest gun in an enclosed tank thing would be the crown jewel of the branch. It would be able to do 850 damage like the old school tank destroyers did. Have a shell velocity of 1720 meters per second, which is the highest. I think that would be the highest. Correct me if I'm wrong. And they go at 63 like the S23. Now you're thinking, this thing would be overpowered. It's basically a better gorilla. It has a lot faster shell velocity, a lot more, 100 more damage, and a fully rotatable turret. Well, you'd be correct if they had the same gun statistics. But I proposed that this thing would, to balance out the mobility and damage and shell velocity, it would have terrible dispersion and other gun stats, like a very long reload. Well, conclusion. This line would consist of fast, turreted, lightly armored tank destroyers with a lot of damage, and of course Russian bias, because Russia. Thank you for watching till the end. If you would like to see more of these kind of suggestion videos of me proposing branches or full-on tech trees, leave a like, tell me that in the comments, and thank you for watching. See ya.